Imagine a morning in which there are no more 5 a.m. alarm clocks, exhausting crowds on the subway, or hours-long traffic jams under pouring rain. You calmly drink hot coffee in your apartment in Kyiv, take one step across the threshold of a special home teleportation booth, and a second later you are already breathing salty ocean air on a beach in Bali, or walking into an important business meeting in a skyscraper in the center of Tokyo. The world has shrunk to the distance of one outstretched finger, and geographical maps have become a mere formality. If this thought excites you and makes your heart beat faster, be sure to subscribe to the channel right now, because today, we are going to dive into some large-scale reflections on how teleportation technology will forever change Earth, the economy, security, human psychology, and the very essence of our existence. The instant collapse of the global economy and the birth of a new everyday life. The first and most powerful blow that the invention of teleportation will deliver will be the total destruction of the familiar economic system. Giant industries that have shaped humanity for centuries will disappear practically overnight. Airlines, railway carriers, automobile manufacturers, shipping companies, fuel producers, and logistics giants will find themselves on the verge of bankruptcy. Millions of kilometers of paved roads and railway tracks, airports, gas stations, and seaports will turn into monumental ruins of the old world. The supply chain for goods will shrink to fractions of a second. Fresh fruit from Ecuador will appear on the shelves of local stores instantly, without the need for refrigerated containers or long and expensive cargo transportation. Along with this, there will be a global redistribution of the real estate market. Today, the value of housing is largely determined by its location. Proximity to business centers, transport hubs, and infrastructure. Why pay millions of dollars for a tiny apartment in the center of New York or London if you can buy a spacious house in a cozy corner of the Carpathians, on the coast of Iceland, or among the mountains of New Zealand, while appearing in an office in the center of a metropolis in a fraction of a second? The concepts of capital, prestigious neighborhood, or work-related migration will completely lose their original meaning. Cities will begin to dissolve, and people will spread evenly across the entire surface of the planet. This will lead to a dramatic decrease in the cost of living in former megacities and, at the same time, an increase in the price of land in the most remote corners of Earth. The environmental dilemma: clean skies versus quantum hunger. From an environmental point of view, teleportation seems like an absolute salvation for the planet. The stopping of billions of cars, trucks, airplanes, and diesel container ships will instantly stop the enormous emissions of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Smog over megacities will disappear, the ozone layer will begin to recover rapidly, and the oceans will no longer be polluted by fuel oil and oil spills. However, teleportation does not arise from nothing. According to the laws of physics, to break down the matter of a person or a cargo at the quantum level, transmit this colossal amount of information at the speed of light, and precisely reassemble it at another point, astronomical amounts of energy will be required. If humanity does not manage by that time to discover a clean, cheap, and practically unlimited source of energy, teleportation will become the most expensive and energy-intensive technology in history. The planet's energy grid will operate at its limits. In addition, a new environmental threat will emerge: uncontrolled human presence. If any person can find themselves in the most remote corners of the Atacama Plateau, deep in the Amazon rainforest, or on the glaciers of Antarctica at the call of their heart, wildlife will lose its last natural protection: remoteness and inaccessibility. Pollution from tourism will reach even those places where no human foot had previously set. The geopolitics of the future, the decline of states, and absolute transparency. The invention of teleportation will deal a fatal blow to the classic concept of a sovereign state. How can borders be controlled if every citizen, illegal migrant, or smuggler can appear anywhere on the planet in an instant? Border services, visa regimes, customs checkpoints, and physical fences will turn into completely useless decorations. The world will be forced to move either toward the concept of a single global society without borders, or toward a system of total digital control. On the other hand, an unsolvable problem of public security will arise. Robbers will be able to materialize inside bank vaults, criminals inside private homes, and terrorists inside critically important infrastructure facilities. To protect themselves, humanity will have to develop completely new defense systems, quantum jammers, special fields that completely block the possibility of teleportation into a designated space, for example, private homes or government institutions. Movement authorization systems, strict control under which every teleportation will require a digital signature and identity verification. Privacy in such a world will become the most expensive luxury. In order to feel safe in their own home, people will have to constantly keep active force shields against unauthorized intrusion from space. The paradox of destruction, the philosophical trap, and quantum suicide. The most terrifying and profound aspect of teleportation is hidden not in economics or politics, but in quantum physics and the philosophy of consciousness. Most scientific models that describe potential matter teleportation operate according to the principle of scanning, destruction, and reconstruction. The process looks like this. Your body is scanned down to the smallest atom and quantum state. During the scanning process, the original body is broken down into elementary particles. The information code of your structure is transmitted across the distance. In the receiving booth, your exact, perfect copy is assembled from a local supply of atoms. Here arises the famous philosophical paradox of the ship of Theseus, or the quantum destroyer paradox. Is the person who walks out of the booth in Tokyo the same person who entered the booth in Kyiv a second earlier? From the point of view of an outside observer, yes. They have the same memories, the same birthmarks, the same character, and the same beliefs. But from the point of view of your individual consciousness, is teleportation simply a device for rapid suicide that destroys you and creates a clone of you in the world, convinced that it is you? Is humanity ready to accept a daily, small death for the sake of rapid transportation? Sociology and psychology, the decline in the value of travel. Travel has always been more than simply changing geographical coordinates. It has been an important inner experience. Cultural adaptation, anticipation, the changing landscapes outside the train window or airplane window. All of this prepared the human psyche to perceive a new environment, taught patience, and provided valuable time for reflection. In a world of instantaneous teleportation, the human brain will face an unprecedented sensory and cultural shock. In a single day, a person will be able to have breakfast in snowy Norway, lunch in the middle of a desert in the UAE, work in a skyscraper in Singapore, and go to sleep in an Argentine village. The psyche will not have time to adapt to such abrupt changes in temperature, pressure, time, and cultural context. This will inevitably lead to completely new disorders, sensory disorientation, and chronic psychological jet lag. Moreover, we will lose the very romance and magic of travel. When any corner of the planet is just one step away, no place will seem dreamed of or special anymore. The Eiffel Tower in Paris or the Egyptian pyramids will lose their grandeur, turning into an ordinary location for a 5-minute walk during a lunch break. Teleportation is a magnificent technological dream that can both grant humanity absolute freedom from spatial limitations and completely change our way of life, destroy the economy, and confront us with complex philosophical questions about the value of life and consciousness. It will make our planet tiny, but at the same time it may deprive us of the depth with which we perceive the world. What do you think? Would you dare to step into a teleportation booth knowing that your atoms would be completely broken down in order to create a copy on the other side of the world? Like this text if you enjoyed these reflections, and be sure to write your comment below. Let's discuss whether freedom of movement is worth such risks.